off we go. Season finale from Piscataway. And no shot at a return for Wisłowski. On what could be a historic day, this day will start through the air for Tagovailoa. He pumps and gets it away, and that's broken up with a flag out. Robert Longerbeam had coverage on Ty Felton. And we'll check on our first marker on the game's first play from scrimmage.
Yeah, that's going to be an interference against Rutgers. He bumped him before the ball got there. But you can see the creativity that
pass
Tagovailoa brings.
Defense, number 7. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot.
Longerbeam didn't have his eye on the ball and kind of, ran into him.
Bull Kneppel, the white hat, the referee today. Tagovailoa underneath to Roman Hemby, who slices through a couple guys and is short of the first down.
You'd like to be able to get pressure on the passer with your 4 down guys, but it hasn't been the case with this Rutgers defense. They've had to be able to generate it with blitzes.
The Hemby in short yardage on 2nd and 3 with the first down. Rutgers expected just that, and he's taken a shot, his first one of the day, and incomplete. Play action. Tagovailoa setting up a screen for Hemby, and he's driven down. Tagovailoa out quickly. Jay-Sean Jones working upfield and banging off bodies. And he is there for a first down. So needed 12, got 13, and that moves Tagovailoa past Drew Brees into 3rd place on the all-time leading passer list in the Big Ten.
This is a very talented offense that this Maryland Terrapin team has.
Antoine Littleton, one of their featured backs. He's going for Felton and drops it in there. Touchdown for Felton. And Tagovailoa did number 2 on the big time all-time passing list.
Felton just with some speed, just got right on top of him. Yeah, it's just a straight route. You get on top of Longerbeam. Longerbeam misses him at the line of scrimmage and can't catch up. Felton just gets on top of him so fast, and the ball's right. Just dropped the dime. Perfect throw.
So on the first touchdown drive of the day, Tagovailoa passes Drew Brees. He passes Adam Weber, the former Minnesota quarterback.
That was a brain fart right there.
That was going out of bounds.
Yeah, you got to let that go out of bounds.
Rashad Rochelle called for the fair catch. Flag does come out at that spot.
Unless he caught it out of bounds. He may have been out of bounds when he caught it.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team. Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line.
That's what he's ruling.
1st and 10.
Brings the ball out to the 35-yard line for Rutgers. Gavin Wimsatt out at quarterback. Greg Schiano calling that Penn State game the best game that Wimsatt has played at quarterback since he's been at Rutgers. Over 60% completion, and he hands off on the first play of the day. We got Reggie Sutton, their right tackle, back mid-season after a series of knee injuries. That certainly helps Wimsatt up front. Back-to-back run plays from Monungai, and he churns ahead for a Rutgers first down. He comes in 19 short. Here's Monungai between the tackles and takes Bo Braid in a herd. On 2nd down, Wimsatt to throw for the first time and off target. And that's what you got your eye on, the accuracy.
That's it right there.
There was only one play that Greg Schiano pointed to in that loss against Penn State in the pass game that he didn't like. And Wimsatt, the quarterback run game, makes this a 4th and short. He's 2 yards shy. The Rutgers over 50% on 3rd down this year. Hitting on 2/3 of their 4th down tries. Back-to-back quarterback runs from Wimsatt, and he is stuffed. Tagovailoa, after his touchdown on the first drive, hits Jay-Sean Jones, who's off to the races and inside the 5. Jones is on milestone watch today, closing in on 2,000 career yards. Tagovailoa out the back door, and with his legs, a touchdown.
That faked out the entire Rutgers defense. They were all going with the flow. Tagovailoa comes out the back door, piece of cake. This is exactly the start that Maryland wanted. Maryland's one of those teams, like, there's nobody out here. Maryland's one of those teams, you give them a little bit of confidence, they're going to gain a lot of confidence. This is a good football team.
Monungai at running back, 2 yards away from 1,000 on the season. Takes it to him, throws it at the feet of his tight end, Sean Bowman. Whips it out for Monungai. And the Big Ten's leading rusher can also get it done in the pass game. Whims it, flips Monungai over. Monungai has 1,000 yards on the season with that run right there. The 12th 1,000-yard season in Rutgers history. Ray Rice has 3 of those. He's also #1 in the single-season rushing department with over 2,000 yards. There's Monungai to the edge, and Still is there to set that edge short of the first down.
Still's a good player.
And tush-push formation, and tush-push executed.
And I don't know if he got the first. It'll be close. It's right on that line.
That is a first down. And Mike Loxley, Maryland's head coach, called this the most improved team in the country. Whims it to Bowman and hits the tight end who's shoved out. Johnny Langan's career over for Rutgers. Monungai ducking toward the first down, and he's cut a yard short. 3rd down. On the 3rd and short, a guy that Greg Schiano and his staff could not speak more highly about. Unfortunately not out there today for Rutgers in this final game of the regular season. And that's too tall off the hands of Isaiah Washington. It's the dartboard analogy they've used with Gavin Wimsatt. Sometimes just getting on the board. Lost this one out for Monungai. And Monungai after the catch across the 30. And he'll be short of the first down on a 3rd and 3. Linebacker pressure, and that's going nowhere.
He came in a blitz.
Ruben Hippolyte.
That's why I was talking about him. As one of the guys at the start of the game. Ruben Hippolyte sees things quick. What he saw here was an opportunity, and he came in a blitz, and he blitzed that C gap. Nobody was there except the running back. Great call defensively. Hippolyte does a nice job of making the play. Trying a 50-yard field goal here.
Jay Patel from 50. His long in the year is 51. He has made 9 in a row, putting that streak on the line right here. From 50 out, Patel has the leg, and he got it. So Maryland will get it back. Tagovailoa over the top, that's tipped and dropped.
And a flag down.
Flag down, Flip Dixon almost picked that off of the tip ball. Shalik Knotts had hands on it, but wide receiver.
I think Eric Rogers had a shot at it too. Flip Dixon had a shot at it too. It was bobbling all over the place.
Defense, number 0. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
So first down after the near turnover. And Tagovailoa going far side and hits Knotts this time. And that's inbounds and a catch. 156 yards away today for Tagovailoa to be the Big Ten all-time leading passer.
They're just going to keep on picking and poking the whole time. They're going to have to find a way to shore up this defensive front.
Tagovailoa away from Teray, complete. And underneath on that spontaneous play for Preston Howard. Maryland looking to extend their lead. And Hemby is swung down. 15 pounds of upper body, that's it.
Really remarkable.
Screen, Hemby. Hemby with a block. Hemby making the cut. And a touchdown for Roman Hemby. Corey Bullock setting it up with the block.
Right now, Maryland's offense can do whatever they want. They have them off balance. They're running the ball well because of Taulia Tagovailoa. It's his show right now. He's in control.
Three total touchdowns for Tagovailoa in this first quarter. One running, two throwing. One to Hemby, one to Felton. And Maryland has extended the lead. Have you ever seen a Terp do a handstand? Ask Drew Brees and Adam Weber. Now all that's left to do, about 100 yards to get to pass Curtis Painter, the #1 all-time in the Big Ten. Wimsatt and Rutgers drove down for a 50-yard field goal last time. Samuel Brown with his first carry. And into the teeth of that Maryland defense for Brown. And everybody else in that running back room around Benunga has simply been a change-up guy. A lot of big games around Brown, Young, and Benjamin. Started the second quarter. Samuel Brown closed out that first with a 5-yard run. He stays in there at running back. 3 touchdowns for Taulia Tagovailoa in that first quarter for Maryland at quarterback. And Gavin Wimsatt on the move, and he's chopped down near a first down. Play fake, Wimsatt retreats and throws sideline with markers all over. Ian Strong was breaking down the sideline. 2 flags came out in the area of Tarheeb Still.
Yeah, Tarheeb Still, a good cover guy. He's second in the FBS with 5 picks. But he's generally doesn't have to. He's one of those guys that you can put him man to man and do whatever you want on the back end, because he's gonna be fine in coverage.
Like he was walking through his technique there. Like,
yeah,
what else do you want me to do?
Exactly.
Pass interference. Defense, number 4. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot.
Good for their first touchdown of the day. Patel's 50-yard field goal in the first quarter. Their only points. Brown stays in there at running back, and Jeremy Spraggins right there at the line to get him. Wimsatt throwing into tight coverage, and that's knocked down. Glenn Miller out of the hands of Dremel, and a flag out at the end of that play.
Nice tight coverage, and Dremel not a real speed guy, right? He's quicker than fast. You're going to be able to run with them. It's good coverage. I want to see what this looks like. It's going to be.
Pass interference. Offense, number 87. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Second out.
This backs it up to 2nd down and 24. Saw the look from Mike Locksley. I think he thought that was going against Maryland's. And that floats over the top of Miller.
I would question that catch. I thought he bobbled that.
Officials have already started to make the march. That gives away what's off your screen and what's
After
coming
further
here.
review, the receiver bobbled the pass, and therefore it's incomplete. We'll return the ball to the 37.5-yard line, 3rd down.
And it doesn't get the result on it. Incomplete. After no control, 3rd down and 24 as Rutgers tries to keep this drive alive. And they'll keep it conservative. And Benunga, that ball is out. And Dremel back on top of the fumble from Aaron Young. So 4th and 17 brings out the punt unit. And this hot Maryland offense will get the ball back.
Delay of game. Kicking team. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
It looks to me like they had something up their sleeve and they didn't get the look they wanted, so they took the penalty.
And another marker down for this punt. This is going against Rutgers.
False start. Kicking team, number 28. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Yeah, I don't know. Coach Schiano has a lot of stuff in special teams, and that's where he's big. He's big on special teams.
And Appleby's punt is about as short as it gets.
Yeah, he shanked that one.
He's 117 yards away from that record. The Big Ten all-time record set by Curtis Painter. And he's trying to get a chunk of it right here, and he will. As easy as it comes for a touchdown. Corey Dyches.
It's like they just dropped coverage. There's nobody out there. They must have lined up wrong or didn't. It almost like he didn't even see him. Corey Dyches is a tight end. Looks like a wide receiver. And there's nobody out there. None at all. Dyches just ran a good route, and nobody saw him. Doesn't matter if you get beat underneath. Never get beat deep.
4 drives, 4 touchdowns for Maryland, and that's swatted, and that was incomplete. We saw Rutgers here about a month ago against Michigan State with that big 4th quarter comeback against Michigan State. This is Benunga making it a little bit easier on a 3rd down. It'll be 3rd and 4. And then 3rd and 4 after the Benunga run. There's still a ton of time left in the 2nd quarter in this game, obviously. But Maryland 4 of 4 scoring. And Wimsatt taken off. The quarterback using his legs across midfield with a 1st down. Go back a couple years ago when he was playing as a guy that was supposed to still be in high school. Went for about 9 yards a carry. Several rushing touchdowns this year for Wimsatt. And that throw is knocked down. Here's Benunga, physical run right off the back. Been some crazy games. Big comebacks in 2014 and 2015. The first 2 years they played in the league. And Wimsatt to Dremel, one-handed catch. Christian Dremel. A ridiculous play in wideout. Still chops. Dremel got him for a one-hander. Brown into the game at running back. And he's cut down after a short gain. And that's where it started for Rutgers in their Michigan State comeback earlier this year. Special teams and defense came up with some big plays.
Blitz.
Wimsatt. Flares it out. Bowman trying to turn the corner and still out there to make the play. I was thinking the Rutgers guys that are dressed in the different colors is like different flavors of candy.
It looks like M&Ms.
Yeah, they do.
So they have 4 guys, and one of them's hot. They're all signaling in.
They just got the play off. Dremel stumbles.
The bad throw. So he's wide open. Just get him the ball, put it in a decent spot, let him run with it after the catch.
It's going to be a 4th down and 5. You said one guy is hot.
One of those guys is hot over there. The other 3 guys are they're just making up stuff.
They've got sweatshirts for their Halloween costume next year.
That's what they got for Christmas.
Offense still out there for Rutgers, chasing 25 points, middle of the second quarter. And needing to get to the 5-yard line to get a first down. Pressure from Barham, wins it, wears it out. Young, a race to the goal line and a touchdown. All made possible by Dremmel's one-handed catch over Tarheeb Still.
This is a critical drive. They've got to be able to stop them from scoring right here.
Kozlowski takes this out. He has a kick for a touchdown this year, and that had no chance.
And what they've been trying right now has not been working. He's been able to get up and out, and he's been able to throw the way he always has.
Kozlowski, they put it right back in his hands.
Makes a big difference when you're throwing with your hips and shoulders.
That's a miscommunication, almost picked by Melton.
Rutgers has to be able to keep him in the pocket, and if they move him off the mark, they have to get him going to his left. He's less effective throwing to his left.
And Tagovailoa on third down, nobody there, flag is out. A flag out in the secondary and on the far sideline.
It's going to go against Rutgers.
Let's see if those are different penalties, thrown for the same reason.
Holding. Defense, number 24. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
So first down for Tagovailoa and Maryland's. Backed up at their own 20. And Ty Felton slips out of a tackle. And a first down. Tagovailoa 60 yards away from tying Curtis Painter for number 1 all time in Big Ten career passing yards. Tagovailoa can do it on this drive. There is a flag now.
Holding. Offense. Number 51.
They're going to move it back so that he can make this throw and get his 60 yards.
McDonald motions out. And Tagovailoa a step closer to history. Could this be the one? Felton breaks away. Needs a couple more yards to get there. And Felton to the 15. 57-yard hit. 4 yards to get there. McDonald loses the ball. Rutgers recovers that.
Wasn't a catch.
So the fumble forced by Dixon, recovered by Eiton. Rutgers ball. Just scored their first touchdown. Inside 4 minutes to go until the half. Can get a score closer right here. And whims it into tight coverage. It's incomplete.
I'll tell you who just ran a great route. Christian Dremel ran a route and had him beat deep. And he didn't see it.
Back to the ground game with Washington. He's clipped. Kept whims it. Leading in conference games for the most part. Young, who had the touchdown, back in there running back, and in there, incomplete. Tried to bang it into Jackson and off his hands. Rutgers cannot turn that turnover into a long sustained drive to get back closer. Down 18. And off the rugby style punt, Appleby puts that inside the 40, marked at the 37. He's 5 yards away from the most career passing yards in Big Ten history. And this drive starts on the ground. Hemby off one hit and turns that into a 2-yard gain. 4 yards to tie, 5 for first place all time. And Tagovailoa runs out of time. Tagovailoa.
4-man rush. Pick.
And that's intercepted. For the 3rd time this year, Melton picks one off. Trying to follow the family name into the NFL. His brother Bo, his dad, both Scarlet Knights. There's Wimson. A moon ball thrown up there. Flag is out, and it was hauled in. Marked down at the 1 for Isaiah Washington. And Rutgers out of that tight formation with a touchdown. 13 unanswered for Rutgers. 14 up on the board in a row for the Scarlet Knights. Can Tagovailoa bounce back with history at stake right here? And that is run down. 3 from passing Curtis Painter for the most passing yards for a Big Ten quarterback ever. Would it happen on this play right here? And Tagovailoa incomplete. The Knight just didn't see it. A hazy look out at that secondary for Tagovailoa. On third down, quick pop to Jay-Sean Jones, turning upfield, and there is the record. Rutgers almost gets home on the punt.
They just need to get into field goal range here in this last minute 9.
And it begins with a run with Menungai. You just flipped this over. Rutgers was down 28-3. Back-to-back touchdowns since Maryland scored last. And down to 37 seconds when this was snapped, and Trader flies up to stop Wimsatt.
Yeah, nice job by Trader coming from the backside.
Trying to make it a 1-score game before going into the locker room. First trying to keep the drive alive. Wimsatt wants Washington and just out of his reach. 2 touchdowns before the half makes this a lot more interesting. And with the quick strike offense from Maryland. Taulia Tagovailoa. Final couple plays of this half, and into the intermediate game. That's complete to Felton, and he's out of bounds with 4 seconds left.
Get him a little deeper and help him. They're going to run it.
So no shot. Instead, Hemby just 2 enough yards at the end of the half, and that'll do it for this first half. Wimsatt out for the first time for Rutgers. Helps set up that 14-0 run at the end of the half. Big throw to Isaiah Washington.
I think he sees things well, and there's a flag now.
Play blown dead. And this is going against Rutgers.
False start. Offense. Number 72. 5-yard penalty. Second out.
We'll try to self-correct after the penalty. Backs it up to 2nd and 12. And trying to hold off Fuller in the pass rush. And that's at the feet of Menungai. Dremel is the guy he likes to look to in big spots.
Now they're dropped to thirds.
Wimsatt pumped to Dremel, going up top. Washington out of his reach. So a 3-and-out for the Rutgers offense. After they got back into the game in that second quarter and needed 268 to get to the record. And past that and then some over Curtis Painter for the all-time Big Ten lead. But Tagovailoa has that behind him. He gets away from pressure and completes that along the sideline. There was one defensive coordinator earlier this year that gave him a Johnny Manziel comparison. 3rd down and 7. Tagovailoa in a clean pocket, complete to Howard.
What a great throw.
Preston Howard. Howard's second catch of the game pushes Tagovailoa over 300 yards. Here's Littleton, plows over his own guy. Littleton right up the gut, and he is chopped under by Flip Dixon. Short of the first down, 3rd and 1 coming up. Billy Edwards still at quarterback for Maryland in short yardage, and a first down for Edwards. That's still an unsettled spot. Mike Loxley not ready to commit to Billy Edwards being the guy next year. Tagovailoa flares it out to Dyches, who had a touchdown earlier, makes the cut and the reach. Touchdown, Dyches!
Dyches hit another gear once he got that ball in his hands. That was really well done. That looked like Deitch's the wide receiver, not Deitch's the tight end right there. Let's see if he got in before he was down. It's the ball, right? Right there, he's down. Yeah, that's short, about a yard. Knee is down, ball's there. They'll bring that back.
Review. The runner is down at the 1 yard line. First
he hit another gear.
Maryland.
At about the 10-yard line.
Billy Edwards back onto the field at quarterback. Scored out of this spot 3 times last week. And Edwards is in again.
Guys in front of you.
What were you going to say?
Rear ends, but I mean, I think it could sound good on television, so.
I'm glad you still kept it clean. Mike Loxley saying that Cameron Edge is going to be right there in that quarterback competition in the spring. The 18-point game. Gavin Wimsatt on the quarterback run. Wimsatt coming off what Greg Schiano called his best game last week. 62% completion. And a loss against Penn State. To throw for the first time on this drive. Another lofted ball. Shepard had a beat on it. And a step slow on getting there for a pick. Came into this season as a bit of a question after, Still was the returning guy that had experience. Jacorian Bennett, Deonte Banks. Moving on to the next level. Shepard's had some big moments in this season at cornerback for Maryland. Quarterback run on 3rd down. Monungai setting that edge. Monungai, who went over 1,000 yards rushing in this game, in this season, in the first half. Showing off another one of those skills with the block. And he doesn't have much there. Jordan Phillips wraps him up from behind. The linebackers behind him. A lot of the action flows to those guys. Wimsatt inaccurate. Out to the flat for Monungai. Flag comes out.
Coming down. They were in man coverage, right? Man coverage. You're trying to run them off, and then bring Monungai back underneath to try to get what's left.
Pass interference. Pass interference. Offense. Number 87. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Second out.
So penalty backs up Rutgers. A similar look here. Yeah, Monungai out to the flat. And he did get underneath that for a catch. What this next snap might mean for the special teams unit. Back shoulder ball and not close to Strong.
Not even close. That was a cover 2. They're throwing on the. I'm not getting that.
Maryland hot on offense. Rutgers not moving it. Saw Maryland go up 28-3. Appleby steers it away and still doesn't touch it. It takes a Rutgers hop.
He looks like a young Russell Wilson right now. Kind of same stature. Throw the ball the same. They have the same kind of movement. He is in control right now.
After McDonald's run, play action for Tagovailoa. And it's McDonald underneath. First down.
You can count on when you have to. If there's a big play that has to be made, he's there.
There's Jay-Sean Jones. Short game for Jones.
That's why I thought coming into this game, he was the advantage, right? That was the guy that you were going to have to overcome. What he's able to do and generate, and when he's on today, they're going to score points, and it's going to make some throws that not many guys can make, and he can get out of situations that not many guys can get out of. And I think that it's obviously a next level player. It'll be interesting to see where he goes.
part of the waiting weeks for Tagovailoa, who throws for Jones, incomplete. If you over pursue him and let him get out to the left, doesn't matter if it's his off hands. He can beat you with his legs, and that is blown up. Oh, almost. Rutgers. Rutgers offense back onto the field.
Got a safety drop down and he's blitzing. They ran right at it.
It's Brown right into it. Right now, Wimsatt is in the memorization phase. 3 phases that Shiraka talks about. Memorize, next year, come to an understanding. Mastery could come in year 3. And Wimsatt almost throws an interception.
It's different for every guy. Everybody learns differently. And it's one of the most important things you have to learn as a coach is how does your guy learn?
Running out of possessions in this game, chasing 18 points. Going for it on a 4th and 6. And this drive ends with a sack. Tommy Akingbesote gives the ball back to Maryland. A year in the making, that sack. Got to go back to early November of last year against Wisconsin, the last time Akingbesote got home. So the Maryland offense can put together a drive extender, lead extender here. My wife would say Akingbesote is most like me. He's a funny dude, but he lacks focus every once in a while. That's why he's like me. And Hemby is clobbered. Still on Maryland's side, Melton on Rutgers' side. And to the sideline, Felton.
They're in man across the board. Yep.
And Smith coming in motion, and a flag is out. Well, this play dead.
It's motion, and it's going to go against Maryland.
Now what do you do? You punt it?
I would think so. Now it's 4th and 9 or 4th and 8.
Offense.
9.
Number 10. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Nicely done by Dremel.
The story of the season for Mike Loxley and Maryland. A 5-game winning streak, a 4-game losing streak, got that 6th win, and then played real tough against Michigan last week. Trying to close out win number 7 as Wimsatt just got that away. NFL future for Jayshawn Barham. Wimsatt pulls it out of the belly. Bowman underneath. Tight ropes the sideline. And Hippolyte over to lay the wood out of bounds. Officially 9 3/4 of the yards needed for the first down. And a push ahead for Wimsatt. And that's officially a first down. Rutgers' biggest comeback of the year, 21 points in the 4th quarter against Michigan State. Wouldn't be the biggest. Here's Braid on the pass rush, and that's knocked out of there.
He had him.
Barham, one of their top pass rushers on the Maryland defense, moves up to the line of scrimmage here. He gets doubled, and that's into tight coverage again, incomplete.
Even if you're accurate, that's a hard throw to make.
On 3rd down, Wimsatt to the field side, and that's pinpoint.
Great throw.
The present and the future of the quarterback position there right now, Gavin Wimsatt. All day to throw. All day. Flag out. Miller undercuts that, and he caught that. Intercepted by Miller.
Flag is down.
The flag is in the backfield.
It's probably going to be holding or something on Rutgers.
The ruling on the field is the 3rd interception of the year for Miller.
Holding. Offense, number 59. Penalty is declined. 1st and 10, Maryland.
Glenn Miller comes from a military background. His mom served. Where's Steve? Where's Steve when you need him? Tagovailoa incomplete. Octavian Smith. Who do you think Glenn Miller would play in the Glenn Miller games?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Banjo? Third down and 9 for Tagovailoa. And the screen set up, going nowhere. Ignosa.
Well read.
So getting to a point here where this is almost a gotta-have-it possession for Rutgers.
Absolutely.
And Dremel will let this bounce. And all the way down to the 6. Maryland 7-zip since halftime. Wimsett starts this drive with a Monungai run. And not much there.
Not much there, and you look at the end of it, he picked up 4. It's not Dasher or Dancer, Prancer or Vixen.
Or Comet or Cuban.
Madonna or Blitzen. What do you recall? You're idiots.
Gonna miss you in the offseason.
There you go. There you go.
There's Monungai, first down for Rutgers. Play action, and that's knocked down. So nothing there for Wimsett, bringing up second down. So Dremel, who went down before that timeout, he's back onto the field out of the slot here.
Good protection.
And Wimsett buzzes it to the sideline, complete to Jackson for a first down.
Nice throw.
Those are the type of throws that remind you Gavin Wimsett, 4-star recruit. Another one into tight space and broken up.
He's one of those guys that calms everybody down and calms the coaches down, and that's a big deal.
Monungai still fighting. That's another one of those runs. Monungai out of the game here. Young is the back. And Wimsett runs out of time.
He's waiting.
Johnson brings him down, and a flag is out.
Personal foul, late hit, number 46, defense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
See the lead with the helmet
After
for
further
Dylan Fontes.
review, personal foul, targeting number 46 defense. He's disqualified from the game.
And it keeps this Rutgers drive going. Monungai weaving and upended after a first down. We're back to Monungai, who bursts through the hole.
Nice job up front.
Right back on the ball with Monungai. First down.
He's powerful.
That's how he's become the leading rusher in the Big Ten. Got to 1,000 yards on the season overall today. And that was tipped. Miller reaching high up there to get it. And the ball fluttered at the feet of Dremel. And a heavy dose of Monungai on this drive. He's over 100 yards on the game. And back to him. And it blocked up. Monungai hopping inside the 5 with a first down.
It's one area, when they collapse, that's when he bounces it back out.
He'll gain 13 on that play, and he's not ready to let this play die. And with heavy bodies in there. Did they get there? Yes, they did. Touchdown, Rutgers.
On the field was a touchdown.
Yeah, to make this an 11-point game. Yards for Kyle Monungai. Wimsett closing out that drive with the touchdown from 1 yard out. Jay Sean Jones with the fair catch. And Roman Hemby rumbling for a first down.
Nice job by Roman Hemby.
Hemby on the highway. Pavement ahead for Roman Hemby. And another big run for a first down.
Nice job up front.
Still pretty fast.
He's fast.
But he said Ty Felton made him realize I'm not the king anymore.
Yeah.
Wide receiver teammate. But he can take hits and keep moving forward. Hemby with 3 straight carries.
He is running exceptionally well right now, which tells you up front they're winning.
Exactly. Hemby to the outside, slips the tackle of Ignosa. And he's driven out of bounds with the first down. And Billy Edwards back in the game.
Got Billy Edwards at quarterback.
And Edwards keeping it at quarterback.
I don't know if he got it. Doesn't look like it.
Flip Dixon was there to meet him in the hole. And Edwards,
I don't think he got it.
Pushing ahead. And we will see as they unpile the tush push.
Oh, no, they gave it to him.
They say first down. Hempy hitting the outside. And adding to his big night.
That's the clock.
Washington State is the only other team in the country that has 3 receivers. 550 yards, 40 catches, 4 touchdowns. There's Hempy in tight, close to the first down.
Timeout, Rutgers.
On 3rd and 1, it's Hempy straight ahead, crashing into the line. And he does have first down yardage. The 4th one. Here's Littleton straight ahead. And he's not there. The push.
Flag.
And the flag. And touchdown the call. We'll check on the flag though. Edwards is down there across the goal line. What about the marker?
Offside. Defense, number 6.
Offsides against defense.
That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
So that should just about cap it. Pro Future also probably awaiting Taulia Tagovailoa. Rochelle on the return for Rutgers and knocked out of bounds by Felton. But think back to the 80s when Maryland had it going. Frank Reich, Boomer Esiason was a great run of several quarterbacks in a row for Maryland. And Mike Loxley, who grew up a Maryland fan, remembers those days well and wants this to be the start of that again for Terps football. To the outside for Brown. I think they'll finish the year 6-6. We'll try to finish it above 500. The schedule, an absolute bear for them in November. Ohio State, Iowa, Penn State before this game, and Tagovailoa on a record-setting day sends Maryland to a 7th win. And Maryland beats Rutgers for the 3rd straight year, 42-24.